Good afternoon. I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, May the 25th. Let's start with Arkansas news with Donald Trump. Why Donald Trump has Arkansas news? Well, the Republican candidate for president seems on the verge of bringing Arkansas smack dab into the middle of his presidential campaign with what I would say is some of his most despicable stuff yet. This week he's been talking about the case of Vince Foster, the White House aide who committed suicide in 1994. 22 years later, Donald Trump still doesn't want to leave Vince Foster to lie in peace. Multiple investigations have shown this was nothing but a case of somebody in severe depression who reacted in a terribly tragic way to the pressure of being in the Washington pressure cooker. But Donald Trump wants to say it's fishy. The unfortunate thing is that cable TV runs him saying this over and over again, and conspiratorial voters being what they are, who knows what people will believe. But that's not all. We learned today that Donald Trump intends to make Whitewater an issue again. Good luck if you can explain what, if anything, was found in the Whitewater investigation that had anything to do with Whitewater. It was a snipe hunt that ended up with nothing to show for it had not Bill Clinton gotten into an Oval Office escapade with Monica Lewinsky, which wasn't really about Whitewater. Kenneth Starr may be about to be fired as president of Baylor. However, maybe Donald Trump can bring him into doing some campaign work for him. An Inspector General's report came out today on Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server at the State Department. The report says she didn't follow policy by using that private server, and if she'd asked anybody, she'd have been told that. Downplayed to a great deal in most of the press coverage is that she behaved no differently than a number of Secretary of States before her, and there's still no indication that confidential information was compromised, but it certainly will be an issue in their presidential race. Tom Cotton continues to make a lot of noise today. He issued a blistering speech on the Senate floor calling Harry Reid bitter, vulgar, cancerous leadership, and a number of other ugly things. Tom Cotton knows better. He's trying to get attention wherever he can. It's funny that Tom Cotton would lecture on leadership. He's been a one-man wrecking crew to all kinds of legislation, including bipartisan measures and including non-controversial judicial appointments. But he's our senator, and I'm afraid we're stuck with him until he runs for president or vice president. 11 states file suit in Texas today against what President Obama has said about providing equal rights to transgender students. They say this could cause a problem someday. They don't really state a cause of action yet. So far, Arkansas is not in the lawsuit. It's kind of surprising because Leslie Rutledge usually jumps to get into any kind of Republican dogma lawsuit she can get into. And of course, she and the governor have both told Arkansas schools to ignore the president anyway on providing equal opportunity under the law, even though the statute and the courts have said they're entitled to that. The ACLU of Arkansas today issued a letter to the governor urging him to urge schools to recognize the law and treat students equally. Obeying the law in Arkansas is not high on the governor's agenda. City Year, the AmeriCorps volunteer organization and the Regional Chamber of Commerce are going to combine forces. The chamber is going to give some money. City Year is going to give volunteers, and they're going to work on improving the performance at Hall High School, a high school that performs poorly compared to some, partially because it has a high population of urban poor children. Hope that works out. We learned yesterday that insurance companies in Arkansas have filed expecting some double-digit rate increases this year. So far, the insurance department is holding back. One of the factors is a lot more people have insurance now under the private option expansion of Medicaid, and they're using it. So there are some additional medical costs. The federal government says the rate increases, particularly with the subsidies that they provide for those covered under the insurance exchanges, won't be so high as what the insurance companies believe, and the insurance department is fighting it. Finally, just for some fun, you might take a look at our website, arkansasblog.com. We've got a link there to a big picture spread on Club 1836, the remake of the historic Packet House on Cantrell House into a private club. It's being led by Senator Jeremy Hutchinson. As the idea is to make this a hideaway for lobbyists, corporate players, and legislators. It's a little tricky because you've got to watch the ethics laws on taking freebies as a legislator, but I'm sure they can work all that out. It's a pretty slick looking place. Khaki Hockersmith, the former White House designer, has worked on the design of the old McDonald House, and it looks like they got a fully stocked bar. I'd be going there, but I'm not one that pays a monthly fee to get my drinks. I can just grab them out of the refrigerator at home. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.